now. Fasten your seatbelt dahil papunta na tayo sa exciting part ng ating program. Kaya naman, make sure to find a comfortable place for you and ready your pen and paper because we are already in the highlight part of our program. To introduce to us our speaker for today's event, may we have Miss Nina Janine A. Peralta.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, who is going to share his knowledge and field of expertise about our topic, Ahead of the Curve, HR Growth Strategy for 2023. He graduated at University of Santo Tomas with the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Behavioral Science and also took up Bachelor of Laws in the year 2019 to 2021. He was a former director for marketing, creatives, and social media way back 2017 to 2018, and a former president of Junior People Management Association of the Philippines, national in the year 2018 to 2019. At this time, he is currently a full-time consultant in HRTX Incorporation at Makati, National Capital Region, Philippines, and working as a senior associate consultant of PM Consulting. Now, let us have Mr. Jaime Miguel Veloria.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Naimbag nga malem. Did I
Hello,
pronounce that
sir.
right?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah. So, let me share my screen. I'm not allowed. Anyway, thank you for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I'm the past president of JT Map National, not too long ago, and I'm a homegrown native of Ilocos also. I'm originally from La Union, but I currently work in Makati right now. And yeah, sorry. Share screen still not available. So a little information about our company is that we provide HR services to different organizations, different clienteles. We provide training and development, recruitment, what else? Organization and development, as well as mostly related to HR, like HR digitization as well. Okay. I suggest you just make me co-host na lang so I can share. Or,
okay na po, sir.
Okay na. All right. So I also noticed earlier that you have other people coming in from other courses, right? So I like the fact that you invited other people from different courses because HR is not only about HR students, diba? Marketing people would also be soon managers, will soon be managers or people managers, diba? So they also need the background about how to handle people, how to deal with them effectively. And yeah, so for today, we're going to discuss Ahead of the Curve, HR growth strategy for 2023. So I know based from the invite, you guys are third year students, am I right? Yeah, so probably because as earlier mentioned kanina, the times are very volatile, no? It's ever changing. So the growth strategy for next year might not be applicable to when you are already joining the workforce, no? But I guess it's important for us to know what is happening right now, what's happening in the industry, what are the trends, because you will also you can use those to create your strategy when you guys are already joining the workforce. Right. So earlier I mentioned about our company. So our mission is to redefine the world of work. Diba? So reshaping the way we manage talent and unlocking the possibilities of organizations to grow. So similarly, I think that should be the mantra of all people managers or human resource practitioners, because we are in a position right now to bring about change to the business. Unlike before, HR is very admin, diba? But right now, we have the capability to bring value already to the organizations. Anyway, that's just my intro. Okay, let me start by asking you guys, what do you think they have in common? On the left is Video City, and on the right is Nokia. Feel free to unmute yourself if you guys have any answer. There's no right or mute. Anyway, any idea on the similarity between the two? Or did you guys naabutan niyo pa ba to? Video City?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So Nokia, well, any idea? Can you type in the chat box na lang if you guys are shy?
Um,
Obsolete. Okay. The hardest phone? No, I'm asking about the similarity. What do you think is the similarity between Video City and Nokia aside from its obsolete? That's correct pala, Genesis. They're obsolete. Yes, Dianica.
they're both not existing anymore
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yes, so same with Genesis, obsolete. So anyway, the answer is they're not able to innovate themselves in order to adapt to the current environment. Kaya that's why they're obsolete or they're not anymore in the market. Diba? Video City is the household name for video rentals. Diba? When I was a kid, I would usually request for us to go there in order to watch movies, watch the latest movies. Kasi it's not it's more cheaper than going into the movie house or the cinema, diba? So when the internet happened, diba? They refused or they were not able to adapt to the internet. So just a background, Netflix was also a CD rental, diba? But Video City was not able to put their what do you call this? Put their selections online. They forgot they failed to innovate and adapt to the internet scheme. Yeah. Anyway, Nokia also, when the smartphones as well as the touchscreen came about, they refused to innovate their products, diba? They stayed as a keypad because they believe that's the best. Ganyan. And so when everyone was using smartphones already, they're not anymore the preferred brand of cell phones. Well, back then, Nokia was the biggest supplier of phones. They're every year or every release, they're anticipated by the masses, the people. So what do I mean? What do I want to share to you guys by asking this question? Is that if we as a profession or as a practice, diba, people management failed to adapt to the times, we will also be obsolete or we will also be irrelevant. That's why this is a very good session because it calls for the innovation and creativity of all the future human resources practitioners. Diba? So, yeah. Moving on. Okay, so let me just briefly go back to the history. I know you guys might probably learn this in school already, but it's important to look at where we have been or how long we have come already. So the practice started in Industrial Revolution. Um, Basically, a lot of factories are opening up. Therefore, the need for recruitment, management of the workers, as well as training how to use the machines are on the rise. So um, back then, the admin managers have been relevant. It started there. But of course, we all know that the industrial revolution also brought about some problems in the workplace. Diba? They were working in extreme conditions, very hot machineries and factories. They were working super long hours, diba? So that brought about the trade union movement. That's why we are still studying the collective bargaining agreement right now, diba? So huge thanks to those people who unionized or who brought about the trade union movement, because without them, we would not enjoy the benefits of working right now. Anyway, trade union movement era, human resources are mainly involved in grievances as well as payroll management. So later on, it evolved into personal management. Back then, I remember PMAP. PMAP used to stand for Personal Management Association of the Philippines, way back 1980s to 90s. But it was changed to people management already, because from personal management to human resources, we already realized the value of the people because they are the drivers of business. Ayun. So that's just a brief history. Human resources is already very all-encompassing practice. We have recruitment, training, compensation and benefits, engagement, diba? Very all around already right now. Okay, so earlier I heard the MCs talk about how being in the know is very important. It might not be the exact same words, but yeah, I also believe that learning what the trends are right now is very important to you guys, to students, because you're not part of the workforce yet. So it's very hard to know. It's very hard to learn this without basically experience of joining the workforce. So anyway, I just have few slides here. The first one is flexibility. Diba? So you see these words here. These are the trends right now on the employers as well as employees. Diba? I'm sure being in Ilocos Norte, you guys want remote and hybrid work, or probably remote work, no, so you can stay with your family. And that is a huge thing right now, because when the pandemic started, diba, people were sent basically back into their homes, forced to do remote work because of the lockdowns. And so it was very experimental to use the hybrid the remote work on a lot of companies. But the pandemic brought about the realization that remote and hybrid work actually works. It's not detrimental to the business. It's not it can produce the same results as physical or face-to-face work, diba? Or on-site, what they call them. So right now, it's very, sorry, right now, it's our problem or dilemma on as human resources practitioners or people managers to engage with the employees because you're in multiple locations, diba? You're not meeting physically, so it's a business case for us HR how to engage. Same with gig economy. So do you guys have any idea on gig economy? What's gig economy? Any answer?
It's on the freelancing, sir.
Yes, yes. So, if you're familiar with Upwork, ano pa ba, jobs.ph. So those uh is what you call gig economy. So basically, they're doing gigs. The freelancers are doing gigs, and so right now, companies have realized that they can utilize gig economists to their advantage. No, so they're not full-time employees, but they can get the work done. And so, as more and more companies are adopting to the gig economy, they're hiring freelancers. Diba? It's also a question for HR or people managers. How do you engage with those gig economists? Diba? How do you make sure that they do the work? How do you um, engage with them? So it's also these three are actually same, no? Globalization naman is actually started back way back 2010s, di ba? When the BPOs or BPOs. Basically BPO kasi is right now in our language it's synonymous to call center. But it can be possible to because BPO is business process outsourcing, meaning they can transfer any for example a foreign company transfers parts of parts of its department to other locations or countries because it's cheaper. Sadyang nauna lang sa call center or customer service because Filipinos are very fluent in English. Pero right now, even HR or finance or admin are transferred to the Philippines. So a lot of people have been a lot of Filipinos HR practitioners are supporting employees from other locations or other countries. Diba? So it's the same question with the three of these. Na how do we engage with them? How do we make sure that they get the work needed to be done, diba? So later on we will discuss later, but these are the trends. Flexibility. Next is we have the new org design. So this might be too technical for you guys. So anyway, back then, I sorry for the the typographical error. Anyway, back then the trend was to eliminate roles and functions, but right now, in 2022 and moving to 2023, I guess, organizations are moving to a more functional design. So, let me explain the basic of this one. So eliminating roles and function, basically these organizations back then deemed that they're paying too much to employees or they're paying they have large number of employees and maybe think that they're not producing well enough or they're not doing enough. But right now, the move is to a more functional design, meaning you will keep the employees, but maybe you can make them report to a different managers. For example, in putting it into an HR context, you might start as a human resources generalist. you might report to the recruitment manager as well as the compensation and benefits manager. So it's more functional. So the entry level employees right now are more meaning functional kasi back then they would have, so in eliminating, can you see my, let me just pull out my laser pointer. Anyway, so back then back in 2021, they would have recruitment specialists, they would have payroll and or compensation and benefits specialists, diba? But right now, the trend is to have a more sort of like an HR generalist role, or for example, recruitment and payroll specialist like that. So it's more functional right now. Also, another org design trend is creating end-to-end teams. So for example, flattening the back then was flattening the organization, but right now it's end-to-end. For example, in HR context also, back then recruitment have, for example, in the recruitment department, they have sourcing specialists, they have an interviewer, they have what else? Diba? So for example, in recruitment, they have different specializations catering to different functions. But right now, it's already end-to-end. For example, you're a recruitment specialist. You are now doing from sourcing up to interviewing and then endorsing that to the hiring manager, sort of like that. So it's very the flattening the organization trend back then was put to test because aside from reducing the numbers or the line reporting line, they're now functional and end-to-end. Sorry, I can see blank faces already. So are you guys still with me, or you have any questions? Feel free to raise your hands. Raise your hand anyway. Okay, moving on. Increasing local and regional control was the trend back then. So for example, in different facets, for example, marketing, because I know there's a few marketing people here. Back then, there are sales managers, area managers, as well as regional managers, as well as country heads, diba? They have they want specific controls for each region or areas. But now it's more moving to a network design, meaning you're basically doing the same stuff, but you're reporting, hindi na siya parang cascading down, like regional area to specific location na. It's more of a network design. For example, the basic marketing specialist would now report directly to a country manager, for example, and also reports to the area manager or the regional manager. It's not anymore hierarchical per se. So those are the trends in org design right now. So any questions, guys? Feel free to raise your hands. Or if none, we can move ahead. Okay. Also, another trend right now is the total wellness. Diba? Because during we had the Great Resignation, we realized the importance of retaining the people. Kasi when you take care of people, they're more productive in general. That's a proven fact already right now. So because the cost of, for example, an employee resigns and you would hire another one, there would be cost to the business. And so more as the time goes by, we realize more and more that we need to take care of our employees. And us HR or people managers, we are the drivers of total wellness in the company. So So we have three facets here of total wellness. We have mental, physical, and right now they're adding financial wellness already. So back then it was only physical, di ba? Very old old style companies would do yoga, di ba? Those are their wellness days, di ba? They would do yoga, Zumba. That's their idea of wellness. But right now, they're adding mental and financial. So for mental, a lot of help are already available. So some companies would even certify their HR people into coaching or to do first aid response in mental grievances, diba? So those are the trends right now in mental, and a lot of trainings or webinars are even put out there for employees just for them to have a basic background on how to deal with mental grievances. So also for mental kasi yeah, anyway, moving on, sorry. Financial wellness, meaning as HR, you should be employee champion also of your employees to make sure that they have proper wages or they're paid enough. Kasi right now, because of the great resignation nga, people realize the value already of giving fair compensation to their employees. Like for example, back then, they wouldn't increase the salary annually, diba? But right now, staying in a company is rewarded, so there are annual increase and all. And also for financial, I think more and more companies are doing initiatives for their employees to know more about financial wellness. Like for example, training on investment. Actually, we do that also in our company. We attend to a lot of trainings for financial, how to handle our money, because Gen Zs, I know you guys are all Gen Zs now. Our Gen Zs and millennials are very in general, they're very more paano ba? They're very more investment they're inclined to their investment mindset, diba? So that's the companies are realizing the importance of having financial wellness initiatives as well. And so let's now move on to the HR growth strategies. Knowing the trends, so I included three only pala in the trends because those are the most common, the most applicable to the Philippine setup or even the regional companies here in the Philippines. But there are a lot more. For example, right now, a lot of companies are digitizing their systems, their HR. For example, payroll is now done through systems like Workday, SAP. Ayan. So anyway, that leads me to my first HR growth strategy for 2022. And this is really more, this is very important for you guys as future HR practitioners or even people managers to embrace technology and analytics. Diba? Usually, ayaw natin ng numbers in HR. I'm not sure, but when I was in college, ayaw ko ng numbers talaga. I normally say, kaya ako nag-HR kasi ayaw ko ng math, ganun. But right now, it's very important for us to deal with numbers. That's analytics. And also for us to keep abreast or be technologically savvy. Diba? Because when we come into the workplace, there are new system in place, and if you can't keep up with the system, diba, you would be irrelevant. You would be judged by that kasi you're not able to do your work anymore. Ganon. So anyway, I have here benefits of technology and analytics. First, technology is immersive. Diba? Earlier we said that the trend is flexibility, globalization, localization, gig economists, as well as remote and hybrid work. So the question earlier was how do you engage with them? But right now, sorry, yes, John Marley. Yeah, so yeah, the earlier question was how do you engage with those types of employees? Right now, the answer is technology, using technological platforms. Like, for example, you have most basic ones are like Microsoft Teams, diba? You can immerse yourself. You can be like at the same place virtually by using technology. Yeah. So another benefit of adapting to technology is the enhanced employer value proposition. So what do you mean by employer value proposition? That is when for example, you would see in life at blank company. For example, the very famous Life at Coca-Cola. What is their employer value proposition? For example, fun. What else? Work-life balance. Those are examples of employer value proposition. So once so by utilizing technology kasi, you would have an employer value proposition that is very high tech. For let's just put it that way. So knowing that most of the workforce right now are millennials and Gen Z, it's important for companies to adapt to the times also and put technology out there. Diba? Kasi Gen Zs, millennials are very technological savvy. Baka pag pinagawa mo siya ng payroll on a pen and paper, that employee will not feel at ease, diba? Kasi they're used to doing everything online or in digitally. So anyway, another benefit is efficient and effective. So we all know that technology makes everything easier. So that's why efficient and effective. So that being said, for those who are not still technological savvy, must reconsider their position already. And on this side of the graphic, these are for analytics naman. And for analytics, I'm missing something here. Anyway, for analytics, it makes room for scientific decisions. Diba? So when you say the trend is it makes room for scientific decisions because you will not right now in remote and hybrid work, you cannot make decisions, or you cannot tell signs already of if a employee is struggling already, diba? You can't see that when you are in the virtual setup. And so right now it's very important for us to use analytics. Is he or she performing subpar already, diba? And you can only determine those if you use analytics. If you use numbers in deciding or making decisions or making assumptions even, diba? So that is one of the benefit of analytics. Also, because of making scientific decisions or making very sound decisions, you can also reduce your attrition. You can prevent employees be yeah, you can prevent employees from resigning per se. So let's just put it that way, because you're more taking care of them if you know their numbers, diba? Meaning their performance, their data per se. So also, I think this one is for data, making sorry, I forgot which this one stands for. But yeah, every technology and analytics may sound very new age for us, but right now it's a solution for the trends, diba? When technology is on the rise, we should also resolve the technological problems using technology and data analytics. Ayun. Any question up until this point? None? Okay. So another growth strategy for HR is to develop business acumen. So I know earlier I delved briefly into the history. That is because I wanted to show you that from way back when HR was seen as admin, very order takers. Right now, HR is seen as business partners already. That's why you have chief human resources officer already at the board of directors, diba? HR is seen now as a valuable contributor to the company, unlike before, very admin, as I said. Pero that's why we should develop business acumen. I know you guys are taking up business admin. Your HR course is business admin, right? Administration. Yes. So that's very. It's also very important for us to learn more about how the business works. Take our business courses very serious, because we also can use it to do our work. So benefits of having business acumen. So sorry, business acumen pala stands for business knowledge. So if that's confusing. Anyway, having business acumen means that we can be trusted if you have business acumen, because you will be only taken seriously when you know what you are talking about. And right now, HR, if you would strategize or you would put initiatives, you make sure that you know what the business, what your business is all about, and how that certain initiative would contribute to your business, diba? Similarly, insight, diba? Deeper understanding of your industry and market, of your organization, customers, etc., would lead to a better people initiative, better HR project, diba? Also, having business acumen would help you make sound decisions. Yeah. So just like earlier, you will make data-driven decisions that help the organization grow if you know more about the business. And also, this is the very most important for us, is to strategize. Because when you connect HR strategy to business outcomes, it's all the more reason that your project would be approved per se. Pero in general, aside from being approved, it would be more beneficial to the company or to the employees, and ultimately that's what we aim for, right? So develop business acumen. And lastly, sometimes you forget about this kasi with the rise of technology, with the rise of other tools and other initiatives, we tend to forget the people. But as HR or people managers, we should refocus ourselves to the people. We should be champions for change for them. We should make their needs the very first priority. And so I put here utilize recruitment and retention best practices because I mean that's available online naman when you look at it because taking care of people during recruitment process pa lang, it's very telling of how your employee would do at the company, diba? Because it builds up their perception about the company. As well as retention best practices. Earlier I posed the question, how do we retain the people? So ayun, as HR, we should align our priorities or projects or even initiatives to the best practices in retention. Another slide here, not much on my screen. I just put random circles. People over tech, as well as career coaching, diba? As HR right now, we are put in a position where we know the industry or the outside world. So sometimes HR are also tasked to be career coaches of the employees, meaning if they want to transfer to another role, for example, a marketing professional, he or she wants to transfer to sales, then we should also do counseling or coaching to them. Diba? Those are valuable assets of HR that we can show the employees that we care about them. Ayun. So that's the end of my presentation. Sorry, another strategy here is to continuous learning, meaning HR is already very broad. Marketing can also be used in recruitment. It's very marketing and HR are already joining force in recruitment. Persuasion is very important in HR. That's a skill, soft skill that's very trendy in HR. Also people management, analysis, translation, sales, coding. If you guys are into the tech stuff, HR information systems is already on the rise. Collaboration, copywriting. This is a valuable skill also in putting out memos, in putting out recruitment or job hiring posters, video production, analysis, leadership, adaptability, people management. Anyway, what I mean by putting out this slide is that our HR journey does not end by mastering HR subjects or courses. Diba? Like for example, you guys had a perfect grade in, let's say, recruitment or even labor law. It does not end there. Your learning. It won't define how great you are as a human resource practitioner or as a people manager, because there are a lot of things to learn pa. And as we mentioned earlier, as the MCs mentioned earlier, the times are volatile, and meaning the topics here can still be added. There might be more that would be valuable to us as future HR practitioners and people managers. And so I wanted to end this this talk with a quote from Johnny Taylor, the president and CEO of the global HR organization, which is the Society for Human Resource Management. He said that be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Diba? Kasi when you, as HR, we should also innovate our own, not just adapt to what is current. Diba? And when you guys learn, for example, analytics or technologies, you would be able to build your own trend or build your own strategy that would be a trend. And as I know that the Gen Zs are very creative, I'm sure that you will be a valuable workforce if you embrace innovation. And that is all. Let's take it forward. I'm in Veloria, People and Organization Champion of PM Consulting. Let's connect on LinkedIn if you have already. And thank you so much. I would answer your questions if any. Would there be a time for Q&A still or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay?
And thank you so much, sir. So after listening to the discussion provided by sir, you know, guys, it's really important to know how to adapt, especially that ang bilis ng shifting ng trends in businesses and in organization. Sabi nga ni sir na we have to be flexible. We also have to familiarize yung mga organization design so that we know how to fit in the business world. And of course, by knowing those, the strategies and the developments, it is one way to retain employees, of course, in the business, motivate and attract skilled employees to join the company or the organization. Also, we have learned about, sir, yung mga continuous learning wherein we have to have the trust, of course, the right strategies for us to be effective people managers, and not just people managers but also mga marketing managers. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. And I think we have questions here. And may mga nag-send na po ng questions during our registration form. While waiting for the other questions here in the Zoom chat, we will read na lang po yung mga prep questions sa ating mga registration form. So the first question, sir, here is, what might be the best strategy to be an effective leader or effective people manager in the future?
Parang very thesis defense. Anyway, I think the very best strategy for us, as people leaders or even future people leader is to, it might be not on the slide, but to open yourself. For example, you might be put into a role that you specifically don't want, and therefore your mindset is stuck on the idea that you're not happy with the job you had, diba? So your performance would be down, diba? And so by opening up yourself to endless possibilities, you free up your mind space to be, to do your best in every aspect. Kasi for a lot of things in HR, we can only learn so much. Parang there are things that you only learn on the fly when you're there already doing the work. And so maybe the strategy would be opening up yourself to the possibility, I think.
And we also have questions here, sir.
Mm.
How do you respond to this changes knowing it's unpredictable? Siguro he or she is referring po sa mga changes na nangyayari
Mhm.
in our environment or in the business